Hey there, it's Julie Hutchison here from Think, Be, Do Leadership, and I'm hoping that I have enough internet in my Tunisian hotel to complete this live, because I'm not entirely sure. But if you can see me and if you can hear me, please do say hello, because then I will know that it's working. Because today I've gone all technical on myself actually today, because we're talking about L does not equal Q, and you might be thinking, what on earth am I talking about? But what we're talking about is what's the formula for really great team performance for you as a leader. How do I create team performance? So if you are a leader, and particularly a tech leader, because that's where I sit most of the time, and you're thinking, well, I want my team to perform higher, then you're in the right place, because today we've got what we're going to talk about, if you can hear me, is that L does not equal Q. And what I mean by that is that leadership is not just a qualification. You can't just go and get yourself a qualification and then suddenly you're a great leader. And I think companies quite often stick people on courses and or even just hope for the best and don't put you on a course and expect you to be a great leader, when actually there's a bit more to it than that. But there is a formula, and that's what I want to talk about today. And I'm not really getting technical on myself. It's only very simple. But I wanna show you that formula today, and then I want to show you a picture of what do I mean, and how does it work? Because I think leadership should be simple. I think working with people should be simple. It should be fun, and and we're a product of relationships. And here at Think, Be, Do Leadership, what we're talking about is this absolute fact that it's more than just this qualification. You cannot just expect to be great. You have to actually put it into practice. Okay, you have to apply the theories and the concepts to you as a leader in terms of how you show up, and to your team in terms of what do they need, how can I help them, how can I encourage them to do their best work. Apologies for the wobbly camera. I'm on my laptop. So sometimes we get frustrated with our team because they're not doing what we want. And actually, when we look at it, a lot of the time, it's something that we can actually impact, we can affect, but we don't necessarily know what it is. And so what happens is that we flounder around pressing different buttons, seeing what's happening and trying to make a difference. But actually, we can apply a formula, and then we can ask ourselves the question, which of these pieces is missing in this formula to make the best, or to have the best team performance, in terms of that's the potential. And I've got, let's say, 100% of the potential of my team rather than 50%. And if you think about it, if you've ever read The Inner Game by Tim Goy, The Inner Game of Work, he said that performance equals potential minus interference. Okay, and I totally agree with that. But what I want to look at for us with our teams is, well, what is that interference? And here I want to look at it in terms of the way in which we put it, let's say here, and that is that TP equals performance, right? Team performance equals P minus CD minus WD minus DD. Team performance is simply potential minus the times when people can't do it, or when they won't do it, or when they just don't want to do it. Okay, those three things. Keep on though with that one for a moment. And if you're listening live, remember, please say hello. Eric, thank you. You must be able to see me if you do that. That's brilliant. So we've got that one, and I'm going to bring that up and show you that in a picture in a minute. But then I want to look at, okay, what is CDWD? So it's can't do, won't do, and don't do. I want to look at that. Our team have a potential, but there are things that stop them. And that is that they either can't do it, or they won't do it, or they don't do it. Okay, hold that thought as my table wobbles here. Okay, and then I want to say that leadership is this next one, which is a function of three things. It's a product of the clarity of focus that you have and that you share with your team, which I'll show you again in a minute, and then the relationships that you have with your team, and then the confidence and the collaboration that they have as a team. Okay, three things. And that lines up with can't do, won't do, and don't do. And I'm going to sneeze any second now. Just a second. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so what on earth am I talking about? Because that's just a load of letters. So let's look at it in a picture. Here you go. A big picture at the moment, but let's just look at that inner triangle. Let's look at the inner game of team performance, okay? And here you'll see that there's three things there that say can't do, won't do, and don't do, okay? So when it's not working, then the performance yeah, is going to be potential minus these three things. So either they can't do, won't do, or don't do in red there, okay? And what we want instead is engaged and enabled and excited people, i.e. they can do, they want to, and they do, okay? And the way we get that is that piece in purple, which is we give them confidence, because if they can't do, they need confidence to be able to. We need to show them, and I'll break that down for you in a second in green. If I focus, I think I've frozen on your screen. Jackie Slater, I'm so sorry. If I'm back, hopefully I'm back. I'm okay now. Thank you for telling me. I didn't think this was going to work in Tunisia, but I have high hopes here. So we got can't do, don't do, and won't do, but we want to go to can do, wants to, and will do. Okay, so we need to give them confidence. We need to give them that commitment, and then we get the commitment from that focus that I was talking about here, the clarity of focus. We get the confidence, and then we ask for collaboration. And it's those three things. If we don't put them in, and we don't work on those for ourselves, then we are going to reduce that potential of the team. Okay, so our job as a leader, if we look at it from a technical perspective, our job as a leader is to make sure that we get rid of the can't do, won't do's, and don't do's, and we put in place can do, will do, wants to. And it sounds really simple, and in a way it is as simple as that. But let's just have a look at a breakdown of, okay, so what do I do then? How do I do that? And in green, you'll see here, hopefully you can see my shared screen, then you'll see that let's look on the let's look at the commitment side here, the don't do. Okay, people don't do because they either don't agree with where you're taking them, or they don't have a clue of where you're taking them because you haven't told them. Okay, so when we're talking about commitment, we can't ask people to commit unless we've told them and we've articulated the vision and the mission of where we're supposed to be going, but also that we've got the message right, which is about that articulation. Okay, because if I'm happily, merrily going on my way, I'm making widgets or whatever it is, if I don't know where you want to go with that, then I can't commit to where you're going to. So if you haven't told me, I'm never going to be able to commit. So I'm going to probably run my own agenda with my widgets. Or if I don't agree with where you're taking me, let's not get political, but think about Russia, yeah, some of those Russians don't agree with where old Putin's taking them, so they don't want to do that, so they're not committed to that, for example, yeah. And so you're never going to get people to do their best work if they're not committed to the cause that you're running. Okay, so you've got to look at what is my vision, what is my mission, and how do I actually get across my message. And that's one of the things that we work on in the confident communication course that we run, because quite often technical leaders struggle with some of this, if not knowing what it is, but actually, am I articulating it really well? Okay, so then we look at down the bottom there, I'm going to go clockwise, collaboration. Okay, so here what we're saying is won't, this is the won't do part. And what I mean by that is it's nothing to do with the cause, it's to do with you or me. It's to do with the relationship you have. It's like, well, I won't do it because I won't do it for you. Okay, and I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, hopefully not, but what it means is that people aren't going to be engaged if you haven't built the relationships that you need to, you haven't built the trust. And so here what we're talking about, you can see in the green, we're talking about, first of all, getting that connection with people, understanding who's in the room and understanding the different personalities and behavioural styles of people in the room. Then we need to look at, how do I show up? What's my behaviors? What's my mindset? How am I actually showing up in the room so that the impact of people or impact that I have on people is positive and it's going to mean that they want to work with me. Okay, and I've seen it many a time where people have said, yeah, I totally agree. I'll use a hospital as an example. I totally agree with the cause. I think it's a great place that we should be helping people not to be sick or whatever, but I don't want to work for Bob because Bob's an idiot or whatever, or worse. Okay, so we need to look at our impact on the team, and that will increase that engagement collaboration. And then we look at our influence, and I treat these differently about impact and influence. What I mean here is the way in which we speak about and we articulate and we show up in terms of the things we're saying, and the way in which we say it, perhaps articulating that vision and mission as well. Okay, so the next one here is this final piece, which is this confidence. And the thing about this is that we may know how to do it. Those people in the team may know how to do it, but they don't have the confidence to say, do you know what? I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to put my neck out and I'm going to make a decision. Because remember, what you want for team performance is you want to maximize their potential, same as what Tim Corway said, potential minus interference. So we want to reduce the interference, which is, I don't know, maybe in this section, it might be that they don't feel they're capable, or they're not capable, or they're just not confidently capable, and they need coaching, for example, or they don't have clarity of what is it, how am I supposed to be doing it? So I know the big picture, the vision, but I don't know how am I supposed to be doing this? What does it look like? Like, is it the recipe for success? Let's say I know what the cake looks like, but I don't know what the detail and the recipe looks like, and I don't have the autonomy. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that I'm not confident to take those risks. I'm not confident to put my thoughts out there and make a decision. So I'm always going to go back to the boss and say, what next, please? What next? What next? Which obviously means that if you're the boss, you're going to be making lots of decisions, and everybody's going to come to you and wait for you, and they're knocking on your door, and you're going to do more and more work. So when you give them confidence to build their actual skills, but also build their ability to make good decisions in the business, what that means is that then you can trust them and they can trust you to support them in them stepping up and making some of those decisions. And because you've done the other part, you've explained to them, and you've articulated the vision, and they've bought into it and they want to work with you. Because of that, then the trust is there, which means you're actually going to get some decent results. Because if any one of these pieces of the puzzle is missing, what will happen is then you will not, then it's basically interference with that potential, because you hold people back, either because they don't want to work with you, or because they don't believe in the vision, or they don't want to know what it is, or because they don't have the confidence and capability to grow and to do more than what they're already doing. Okay, so we say leadership is not a qualification, but leadership is a function of the clarity, so that we get commitment, of the relationship, so we get collaboration, and of that confidence, so that we get people who are going to step up and will be learning and growing with us. And when we do that, then team performance goes off the scale, because it's all of that potential that you are growing there. So I hope that makes sense, that really what we're talking about is how we can pick those pieces of the puzzle and maximize each one, so that we have the best possible out of the potential that we have in the room. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, or you're thinking, Julie, I love that, but I haven't got a clue how to implement it, then that's okay. Because one, you can message me, or you can email me at julie@thinkbedoleadership.com. And you can have a chat with us about coming on either one of our Confident Communicator courses, or the Leaders Launchpad, or the Team on Fire program. And you can find out all about them if you give me a shout. I will see where I think you're at and what would be best for you. We work with tech leaders who want to have higher team performance, greater team performance, by looking at how they show up in the business. So if that's you, give us a shout. We do all of those group programs. We also do one-to-one for special people as well. So give us a shout if you would like to find out more. Okay, hopefully we got through that without completely losing. I'm just looking, I think we're still on the internet. Thank you for your comments, letting me know that you're still here and we didn't lose you. And I will see you next week for our live on Thursday next week. You have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and give me a shout if you would like to find out more. Bye-bye.